What are you two doing?
Do we really have to explain it to you?
Unless you feel that Principal Rankin would be better suited to handle this, then yes.
Kayla sighs.
We've been having slanderous rumors made against us, and we believe that Bella's the one who started them.
Really? What proof do you have?
Natsuki Lovelace is the one who told us about it being Bella.
I see. Well, I didn't hear a confession.
Anyone being accused of starting rumors to this degree wouldn't just own up to it. And really, you're taking her side?
I'm not taking any sides. I'm simply telling you what I heard, which, rest assured, was most of your interrogation.
It wasn't an interrogation.
Holding a student against their will and asking them the same question over and over again, that's an interrogation. Now I have heard of these rumors myself, and rest assured I am looking into them privately.
Geez, thanks, Mr. President. Don't know what we'd do without you.
I don't need your sarcasm, Kayla. If you keep acting this way, I will write you up.
Right.
I want the two of you to stay away from Annabelle and never approach her or anyone else like that again. If I, or any of the other officers, witness you acting up again, or anyone reports that behavior to us, I'll have no choice but to send you both to the office. Is that clear?
Aye, aye. Yes, sir, yes, sir,
they say sheepishly.
Good. Your cooperation is most appreciated. Now, given the severity of these accusations, I will offer you the chance to make an official complaint. I would encourage you both to go to the principal about this if you haven't already.
We'll skip the paperwork this time.
Suit yourself, but know that option will always be open. Now, unless you two have further business here, I ask that you leave for the day.
Sure, we'll do that.
Great. Have a good rest of your day.
Jeremy glares at both Kayla and Ruby one last time before turning around and heading back down the stairwell. Both Kayla and Ruby let out a sigh.
There's no doubt she did it. Did you see how quick she turned on us once Jeremy showed up? Yeah, she tried selling us out. She was also super defensive. Yeah, but that's not a confession, so we're at a dead end. Not to mention, with Jeremy screwing us over, it's not like we can do much without getting in more trouble. Yeah, I guess we're just going to have to hope this all blows over. And to think this all started because I wanted to get some dick. Well, I'm sure you can hit Charlie's line and he'd be happy to help you. Honestly, that's not a bad idea. Oh, God. Come on, let's get going.
Kayla and Ruby gather their belongings from the bench and begin to make their way home. Yeah, I really don't understand why someone who is a known slut is really worried about rumors of this variety. It's just kind of strange. Whatever. Apparently, that's it for that episode. Oh, I mean, there's still the post-credit scene. The day has long ended for the students of St. Salvato High. Most of the students, save for those in clubs, have already gone home for the day. But not all the students who are clubless have elected to leave for the day yet. Charlotte walks down an empty hallway.
Okay, so if my last class is up there, and their last class is down here, the route I just took would be the most optimal,
she says, thinking out loud to herself.
All right. Well, I believe my business for the day is done. I shall try to meet Kayla and Ruby tomorrow.
Charlotte begins making her way towards the stairwell. Just as she's about to open the doors fly open, nearly hitting her in the face.
Oh my,
she says, gasping. Bella emerges from the other side.
Oh my gosh, are you okay? Yeah. Oh, there was something else I said there. Yeah, you're good. You just scared me a little there. Fortunately, the good Lord was protecting me from harm.
Bella awkwardly stares back at Charlotte.
Okay. I'm Annabelle, by the way. You can call me Bella. Charlotte Bub,
she says as she extends her hand out to shake Bella, who politely returns the gesture.
You're the Charlotte, eh? Well, I wasn't aware that my reputation preceded me, but yes. No, it's not. It's a good thing. Don't be modest. Well, I try my best. So, what are you doing hanging around here? Are you in a club? I am, but we're not meeting today. I was just planning my route to talk to someone. Oh, for whom? I've been meaning to speak to Kayla Allen and Ruby Phillips about something important. Why would you want to talk to them? Well, I'm trying to solve a mystery here, and they may hold the answer I seek, Lord willing. I see. Well, I don't believe they have the answers you're after. What makes you say that? They're not to be trusted. You know them? Yes, very well. So well that I have it on good authority they worship Satan himself. That's a big thing to claim. What evidence do you have? Well, I have the Lord as my witness. I've had friends who were seduced and corrupted by those witches, good God-fearing men. They were seduced into committing sins with them. Drugs, alcohol, sex, you name it, they did it. They also have sex with many of the boys here on these very grounds. For that, there's enough confirmation. You'll only need to ask around. Not to mention, I actually just had a nasty encounter with them recently. They wanted me to join in on their belligerent behavior. I think it's in your best interest to stay away from them, Charlotte. I don't want you to get corrupted by their impurity.
Charlotte says nothing, staring back in a shocked silence. Finally, she collects herself.
Well, that's certainly quite a lot of news. I never heard of them doing anything like that. Shiro always held them in high regard.
I can't speak for Shiro, but I know that those two cannot be trusted.
Cannot can be 2 words. Or can be 1 word, actually.
I'll have to consider it.
No, I'll have to consider this. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, Bella.
Anytime. Just trying to look out for a sister.
Amen.
Yeah, sure.
Bella sweetly smiles as the two wave goodbye to each other. Oh no. The deception. Whatever. Back to the menu. Look at episode 9. Repressed memories. The weekend has come and gone for the students of St. Salvato High. For many of them, Monday is an unfortunate occasion that the weekend has come to an end and that they must return to their 5-day marathon of being in school. However, not all students are dreading this coming week. Charlotte strides down the hallway, passing several groups of students who are idling in their way. She walks with a sense of determination and eagerness, wanting to quickly reach her destination as soon as possible. However, she abruptly stops in her tracks when a familiar figure comes across her path.
Shiro?
She asks elatedly. Shiro slowly turns to his left to see who had called him. Oh, Charlotte, how are you doing? He asks as she walks up to join him.
Oh, I'm doing just...
Charlotte suddenly stops and gasps when she gets a closer look at Shiro.
Oh my, what happened to you?
I, fell down the stairs, he says with a nervous laugh, though Charlotte clearly doesn't buy his explanation.
Shiro, what actually happened?
Shiro nervously takes a look around before gesturing to Charlotte to follow him. They walk down the hall before turning into an empty classroom.
Alright, so what actually happened?
Shiro lets out a sigh.
You know, I only asked because...
I know, it's because you care about me. And I appreciate it, but please, with what I'm about to tell you, please don't freak out, okay?
Shiro, what...
Just please promise me.
Okay.
Charlotte quickly does a silent prayer and blesses herself before letting out a sigh.
Okay, I promise.
Alright. Shiro says as he slowly walks over and eases himself into a chair, with Charlotte joining him in the seat across. Okay. I had a run-in with Kai. Charlotte's jaw drops.
He did this to you?
She bellows, nearly getting out of her seat. Hey, not so loud, or not too loudly, he says as he nervously looks out the door. Shiro then lets out another sigh. Yes, he did this to me. He and his buddies roughed me up a bit, hurt my jaw and my knee. Fortunately, I'm pretty much recovered from this. Explaining this to my parents was tricky, but they seem to have bought my I fell down the stairs story.
My lord.
Charlotte says as she anxiously runs her hands through her hair.
Why would he do this to you?
Pff, why wouldn't he? He's been wanting to fight me for so long, and last Friday he finally got what he wanted, more or less. His buddies dragged me into the empty classroom on the 4th floor. Then Kai and I relitigated the past for the 100th time. You didn't use a hyphen for consistency. He said he wanted to talk to me because he found out that you were looking into why the anime club ended. So naturally for him, he assumed I had something to do with it. He didn't believe me when I told him that I didn't, of course.
That's so awful. I'm so sorry, Shiro.
Don't worry about me. I can take it. I'm more worried about you, though.
Well, I knew you would have come and found out that I was looking into this sooner or later. I had a run-in with one of his associates not too long ago myself.
Which one?
Victor.
Did he hurt you?
No, but he did put a good scare into me. He pushed me at one point.
Oh, that piece of shit.
Shiro.
Hey, I get that cursing isn't your thing, but I'm right on this. He was one of the jerks that roughed me up with Kai, the other being Randy, the 6-foot piece of garbage.
Thank you, that's better.
Charlotte solemnly nodding to him. Well, I do it for you, he says, returning a small grin.
Now, this is bad, though. If they're assaulting you, it's a sign that they're scared that I'll uncover the truth. It's bad enough that he'll let you get hurt like that.
I'm so sorry.
Charlotte's voice breaks as she tries to fight back tears. Shiro scooches closer to Charlotte, putting his hand on her shoulder. Hey, look at me. Charlotte begrudgingly complies with Shiro's request. It wasn't that bad. It was just a dust-up.
But I let you get hurt.
Charlotte, if you were there, I'm sure it would have been much worse. If he or any of his guys laid a finger on you, I know I wouldn't have been able to forgive myself. Yeah, I got roughed up a bit. It's fine, though. Don't worry about me.
It's not fine, though. You can't let him do that to you and walk away scot-free.
Well, it's not like I can really do anything. Jeremy will look the other way, and if I tell Principal Rankin, it'll just turn into a giant circus that won't go anywhere. I wasn't planning on letting Kai slide for this, but I just don't know what I can do right now. And you should reconsider what you're doing with all this, too. If Kai's people visited you, and after my run-in with him, I think it's patently clear the more we look into this, the harsher the consequences are going to be. He won't hesitate to do something completely out of line to us.
Well, the good news is I have most of what I need. I'm just missing one last puzzle piece.
Which is what exactly?
I'd like Kayla's and Ruby's account of their talks with Michael. They can help fill the gap between your hangout with Michael to his last known confrontation with Kai.
Actually, I think it would be one word there. Shiro sighs. Well, that might be a bit difficult. I haven't had contact with either of them since the club split.
Speaking of difficulties, I've heard of a rather uncomfortable rumor about them.
Which is?
Someone by the name of Annabelle ran into me on Friday and told me that they were gay Wiccans who go around the school half naked. They apparently corrupted the boys here and make them commit horrible sins in their lustful pursuit.
Charlotte says as she worried looks back at Shiro. Shiro instead busts out a laugh. I'm sorry, what? Did I hear you right?
I said what I said.
Okay, I'll admit, there's some truth to that rumor.
Please explain.
Yes, they're provocative. As far as I know, they're not Wiccans. They've never told me or said anything like that around me as far as I can remember. And I'm pretty sure they're both bi, but I never asked them about it because, quite frankly, it's not my business. But they don't go around the school corrupting the boys of this place and make them commit sin or whatever. That's just absurd. I also wouldn't trust what Bella told you. She's been known to stretch the truth on a lot of things.
So you're saying she's lying?
I think she's going out of her way to try to slander them. For what? I don't know. She does participate in the rumor mill a lot, so it's possible someone else started it and she's just playing the town crier.
Interesting. Well, if they really are like that, then I don't know if I should approach them.
I
don't know if my defenses are strong enough. What you already told me about them does give me some pause. Based on what you told me, they are still sinners, and I worry if their corruption can rub off on me. It seems to me that they carry out the devil's word, which can be intoxicating to us.
Look, I'll admit I'm on the outs with them right now, and they've done things that I never exactly approved of. But they're good people, really, I mean that. Kayla was the one who got me into the anime club last year. She and Ruby helped me through so much as Kai was giving me hell. And they helped keep me together when that fanfiction stuff went down last year. They may be crazy, feisty, wild, and have a pretty liberal interpretation of the school dress code, but I would vouch for them on any day and twice on Sundays. Besides, doesn't the Bible teach us that we're all imperfect beings and we must actively work to better ourselves, that God loves us all equally anyway? I don't know how big of a role religion plays in their lives, or if it even has a place at all for them, but that's between them and God, just like your relationship with God is between Him and you. We all walk our own path, and so long as they're not hurting themselves or hurting others, I see no reason to meddle in their lives.
If they're carrying themselves in this way, then they are hurting themselves. They're sinning, Shiro. To dress in a certain way, to do unholy things that God had not intended us to do. That's concerning. I'm willing to do what's necessary to get to the bottom of this, but this might be a little much for me. I'm already risking myself being in Kai's crosshairs, but risking my beliefs potentially. With how my mental health is, I fear that I may stray too far from the path that God has intended for me, being in such close proximity to such egregious sinners. Well, maybe I can help them.
Shiro takes a deep breath. Whatever the case, how they live is still their business. God will deal with them in His way. You don't have the luxury of trying to get them to change, not that I think you'd have much success. Look, if you still want to talk to them, you'll have to put that aside. Otherwise, you're not going to get the answers you want, and they'll shoo you away.
You're right. It's just, I never really interacted with anyone like that. Not knowingly, I'm just scared.
They're eccentric, but they're good people. None of us have ever lived a perfect life. And I'll admit, I've done things in my past that I'm not proud of, and I know for a fact you can say the same. Not to mention, if they're truly as bad as... You don't need this as. If they're truly as bad as they're being made out to be, don't you think I would have been corrupted? You trust me, don't you? If you do, then you can trust them so long as you don't go into that situation with that kind of mindset. Shiro leans back in his chair as Charlotte stares back at him wordlessly. She tries multiple times to articulate a rebuttal, but ultimately she's unable to respond.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping me see things that way.
It's what a good friend does, Charlotte. I'm sure Kayla and Ruby will get along great with you. And I hope you get the answers you seek.
Thank you, Shiro.
She says as she smiles warmly back at him.
So, they are the last piece of the puzzle, and they may help answer this one question I've been trying to answer about this whole thing.
What is it?
I talked to Monica, Adrian, and Sayori on Thursday. Monica and Adrian told me that Michael went to them to discuss you, likely around the same time frame he talked to Kayla and Ruby. And Sayori had a talk with Michael on the roof before school, the day he decided to leave her club.
Okay.
During his talk with Monica and Adrian, it seemed like he was trying to learn more about you, particularly if the rumors were true. Which they confirmed them, but didn't reveal it was Monica who was the victim of all that.
Huh, that's a little surprising. I thought Monica would have owned up to it.
I think she's trying to forget all that happened.
Yeah, I can't blame her.
Anyways, Michael seemed intrigued and a little concerned according to them after their talk, so perhaps this conversation took place first depending on what Kayla and Ruby tell me. When Sayori had her conversation with Michael, he was very distressed and was seriously contemplating leaving the club. So this could have taken place after his last run-in with Kai.
Makes sense.
Sayori revealed that she did try to get Michael to stay with the club, but she recommended him going to Jeremy for advice and to help get Kai off his back.
Shiro facepalms. Oh, Sayori. Why would she do that?
I'm told they have a good relationship, and so she thought of him on the spot.
So then Michael visited Jeremy that same day, and then he went to our club and told us he was leaving.
It seems that way to me. Presumably that's where he was told that leaving the club would help the school as well. So that would confirm my suspicion. Jeremy convinced Michael to leave your club.
Shiro sinks back in his seat, completely shell-shocked. Wow. You were right.
On this occasion, I wish I wasn't,
she said, letting out a sigh and staring out the window. After several minutes of silence, Shiro gets a hold of himself. Well, if that really happens, then you know you're not going to get anything out of Jeremy. He'll never admit to anything, and talking to him about this will land you in his sights, which is just as bad, if not worse, as having Kai on your back.
Right. So I'm afraid that after I talk to Kayla and Ruby, I might have only one other person left to talk about this.
She lets out a shaky breath.
Kai.
Shiro's eyes widen. Charlotte, don't. That's exactly what I want to avoid. If he hurt me, I'm afraid of what he'll do to you.
I understand that this is not without risk, but I think I can get some sort of confession out of him.
He did basically own up to pressuring Michael out when I talked to him. Said he was doing him a favor by making sure he learned about the real me.
Well, if I can get it verbatim out of his mouth, and hopefully on tape, then we can put a stop to this.
Charlotte, no, that's too risky. He probably wouldn't hesitate to put you in the hospital. Shiro says as his voice breaks. Please don't confront Kai.
I'll have to. Besides, he won't be expecting to talk to me. He'll be unbalanced, and he won't know how to stonewall me properly.
And that's what I'm worried about. He'll get angry and he'll hurt you. Pretty sure this would actually be imbalanced? Am I imbalanced?
If it comes to that, then I'll do my best to defend myself. Shiro, I've come too far to turn back now. I had a conversation similar to this with Monica as well. If I drop this, then we let Kai and Jeremy win, and they'll just keep doing this to whoever they don't like. If the principal of the school, or the school won't do anything about it, then with the Lord as my witness, I'll do it myself.
Shiro angrily sighs as he adjusts his glasses. After letting out a few deep breaths, he lets out another sigh and looks back at Charlotte. At least get him to agree to meet you alone, preferably where there's witnesses or a camera.
He'll likely never agree to a location like that, but I think I can convince him to meet me alone at least.
All right.